lot to discuss with our next guest, Republican Senator Mike Rounds of South Dakota. Great to see you, Senator. Thanks for your time on this busy day. How likely is a government shutdown right now, given these new demands from Trump?
Well, we're not ready to give into a shutdown. We want to fix this. We also recognize that the president-elect does not want to go into the new year way behind in terms of getting things done. Our goal is, number one, not to shut down government if at all possible. Second of all, to provide the next administration with the opportunity to start out with a clean slate. Look, the House of Representatives clearly has some challenges in getting everything together. They have a very slim majority over there. Second of all, I recognize that they tried to put together a package, but a lot of folks on my side of the aisle, I know that I talked to, were not necessarily happy with the way that the package came out to begin with. I personally had already told my leadership team that same evening that I could not support it because of some of the policy items that had been included in it. So this was something that once you started looking through these 1,500 pages, there were a number of reasons why we would not support it. I think a clean CR is probably going to be one of the options on the table. We'll have a lot of other things presented to us, but a clean CR with some help for the farmers that are out there, and along with that, the disaster aid that clearly those folks down there are desperately need. I think that's something that the president-elect would also like to see included in it. The challenge will be on the debt ceiling itself. I do agree that it would be great to get that out of the way right now. I think the challenge will be in the House as to whether or not they can put together a team over there to get that done or included. And then finally, on the Senate side, that would take 60 votes as well to get done, which might be a real challenge. We're going to work our way through it. We'll do the best we can, but I want this next administration to start out with a clean slate, get in, get the appropriations actually started on time, get them done on time, and do something we haven't done in 20 years, which is to get our job done on time with regard to appropriations. I
hear you when you say you want this next administration to start on a clean slate, but the bottom line is, as House Republican Mike Rogers said, a CR is complicated enough, getting enough votes for that, without the debt ceiling, which can take months to negotiate. Trump wants that done now, both of them together. Do you see any scenario of both being passed before the holidays? If not, what is the path forward for Republicans right now?
I'll wait and see what recommendations there are, what alternatives or what strategies might be presented for that. Look, the president-elect is a businessman. He understands the art of negotiating and so forth as well. Clearly, it would be better for America if we could get the debt ceiling completed beforehand so that he can get started. The challenge will be whether or not we've got the votes in the House to get it out of the House and over to the Senate. And then, once again, our Democrat colleagues look at that as their ace in the hole. It's one of the reasons why the president would rather have it done before he gets into office. But they also recognize that. And the real question will be, will they negotiate between now and then to actually find a path forward? This is going to be a tough one to get done.
Yeah, I mean, and Trump has been outspoken saying he wants the debt ceiling to be on Biden's watch, not his. But the reality is you need Democrats to pass anything, right? This was a bipartisan compromise on this funding deal. It had already been reached. And then Elon Musk slammed it, and now senators, Democrats, are raising concern about Musk as an unelected official calling the shots. Here's Democratic Senator Dick Durbin. Let's listen, then we'll talk on the other side.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a serious mistake if we give that kind of authority and power to someone who is not elected and is going to dictate.
So I want to note for our viewers, Trump then came out after Musk to publicly slam the bill. But what do you say to those concerns about Musk's influence here and what that could look like over the next 4 years?
I recognize that it was the best deal that the Speaker of the House could put together at that time. That's what he wanted to do, was to find a path forward. Personally, as I said earlier, I was already a no vote on it for the reasons because of what was in this 1,500-page program. It was an omnibus. It was not an extension just for keeping the government open. And I think that's where perhaps we're going to end up going is a cleaner approach, but one that doesn't have a whole lot of policy stuff in it that would be detrimental to the next administration. So, look, we don't have a perfect option available to us here, but I think something closer to a clean extension. And once again, CRs are terrible. It would be better if we actually used the 12 appropriation bills that the Senate had on a bipartisan basis than the Appropriations Committee actually been able to present. I think that would have been a lot better program to start out with. Unfortunately, it's not available. The House has not had a chance to look at it. The House wasn't able to get their appropriations process completed. So right now, the best thing, I think, and it's just one alternative among others, is starting out with a continuing resolution, as much as we hate that because it doesn't allow us to make improvements this year. But then the other thing that we do have available to us is reconciliation right after the first of the year, and we could perhaps do a number of items in reconciliation with regard to supplemental funding as well that could really help jumpstart the next administration with some of the policy issues that they want to get started on immediately.
But again, you know, Trump has made clear he wants a CR with the debt ceiling attached to it. I want to go back to Musk, and I just would like to follow up on that question. What you think about the influence he appears to be having here? Marjorie Taylor Greene just tweeted that she'd be open to supporting Elon Musk for Speaker of the House. Your reaction?
I don't tell the House what to do. I'm not sure anybody can. I'm sure with 435 members over there, you're going to hear lots of different opinions. That's the way the Founding Fathers wanted it. In the Senate, we take what they send us and we do the best to make it so it's actually viable and put it into law. But with regard to everybody's opinion, everybody over there is entitled to their own opinion, and I'm sure there'll be 434 other opinions expressed as well.
So the reality is right now, Senator, though, is that the government will shut down Friday at midnight if something isn't passed. Is this 11th hour chaos a preview of what's to come over the next 4 years?
Look, I think once we get a clean slate put together, I think we can get ahead of the game for the first time in years. I know that members of the Senate on both sides of the aisle want to get back to regular order. They want to be able to go back home and to say, look, we're getting our work done, we're getting it done on time. It only works towards the leadership's advantage when we run into a jam at the very end of the year where they turn out a 1,500-page bill and we don't get a chance to see it or comment on it until we get an up or down vote on it. We can't do that anymore. We've been saying that. Unfortunately, it works better for a leader if they can put their own pieces into it and if they have a chance to craft what they want to get into it. And that is extremely frustrating for the vast majority of the members of the Senate. I suspect for the House it was very frustrating as well. So yeah, I know that it was the best they could do at the time. They were working among the leadership to craft something that could get through. It's better if we start out with a clean slate and we get our work done on time this next year. That's our goal. That's what we want Senator Thune to be able to do. We want him to be able to go back in and to lay out the plans. We think that's a great approach to bring the committees back in, get the committees working, and get something to the floor of the Senate where it can be debated. I think that's what the majority of the members really want to have happen.
All right, Senator Mike Rounds, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.